Hey guys, it's Supa here. So today we're going to be doing our regular legendary hero tier list. I should have by now uploaded a limited time hero tier list. If I haven't, it's going to be coming out soon. And the way we're going to do this video is slightly different. First, we're going to take a look at the original tier list I made about 3 months ago now. And then I'll talk about the characters in this list, which should be moved up/down. And then I'll go back to the new list with updated characters like Tatron and many others, and we'll kind of just speed through the rankings after I've given my original explanation. So this is the original tier list from 3 months ago. There's some missing characters, but let's take a look at what I ranked them previously and what I would change. So in this one we had in S+, Kalana, Lance, Willa, and Ans. I think I would move Willa down. Every other character here I would say is deserving of S+ tier still. Ans, I think maybe some people can make an argument to be lower in the list. However, he still remains to be the only character which does HP recording amongst the non-legendary or rather non-limited time heroes. And for that reason, I think he's deserving of S+ tier. So I know some people will talk about Tatron, the newest hero, which has HP recording. However, it's kind of a fake HP recording because it doesn't actually record damage dealt by your teammates, which is what Ans does. And so Ans still deserves S+ tier. Only Willa would move down, I would say, to S tier. Next, your Guillermo Indra, I think still deserving of S tier, excellent in PvE content. Vasily has, I think, potential to be moved up to S+ tier. He outdamages Lance and I think could very well be the strongest damage dealer amongst the non-limited time heroes so far. Hanya could belong up in S+ tier. She's currently used in 1v1 classic arena teams and just a very strong character all around as well, used in all areas of content. Tyrell belonging up S tier. Morikis I would move down to A tier now that there's so much stronger characters. Jocelyn and Blaze I would move down to A tier because now, once again, the level of heroes has simply leveled up. They're still amazing characters, but on their own they don't do too much, rather they are supports. Jubei I would move to A tier. His only real use is in internal injury related content in Planar Rifts and 7 Sages of Luli. He does find a spot in the new up-and-coming Attribute Steel team in 3v3 and 5v5, although I do think he is being replaced by the newest character, Whale. And then Reyna, I think should be in A tier, and Penny probably in B tier now as well, even though she's kind of lost her place in the CC team, and besides that she isn't used in too many places either. Elise A tier I think is fair. I would move Chelsea and Shaorin to B tier. Maybe Chelsea can stay because she's still the second best burn damage dealer. Sotra I think will be in B tier, decent burn damage dealer and does give some good survivability, and even though she's core for many burn related teams right now, she doesn't do enough on her own to match the strength of many of the other heroes we have in the tier above. Imakado in B tier as well. Oliver I think is fair to be in A tier, potentially B because he's kind of a support once again, doesn't do too much on his own. Mavilla, definitely B tier. Agatha, also B tier as well. I think for this list, I'll only cover the updated heroes on B tier and above. I won't look at C and D because many of these characters just simply aren't very strong anymore. So Faxian would probably move down to somewhere like C. Very, very niche hero now. Just mainly does deep internal injury and of course has some healing and revival buffs. Holgaf can remain in B tier. Not used too much but has some PvP use. Chardonnel B tier is fine, just a worse version of Oliver honestly, but still very usable. Valentina, O'Grady's Marmello B tier is like not too bad, I think that's fine as well. Fruit I might move down to C tier, not the best anymore. Same with Magdi. Dama B tier because he's basically the only real direct damage free to play option, maybe a lot besides something like Ans. Hard in B tier is fine. Kratos potentially could move up into A tier, he does see some use in I believe the Pursue and Attack team, some niche users, definitely not in the meta team, but still a decent character all around. Bobo N B is fine, Anhijin B is fine. Next we have Atkins. I think Atkins might move down to a C tier, she isn't really used in any form of PvP content anymore. Same with Popper, he might have to be moved down. Rona as well, and Rista as well as a budget direct damage support. And then we have Nut might actually go down to somewhere like D tier, he isn't really being used anywhere anymore. So this is just a quick, I guess, update for this old list that we made. And of course, I still have this one over here. And like I said, now we're just going to go through and rank them really fast and hopefully, it works out well. So Lance still S+ tier. He isn't actually the best bleed damage dealer anymore, or maybe even just the best damage dealer amongst the non-limited time hero legendary heroes. However, he's just so versatile and still very amazing. He is going to be in S+ tier. Dianmu alongside Indra, when we find him over here, is still going to be S tier as one of, if not the best PvE related combo in the game. Jocelyn will find herself in A tier now. Amazing direct damage support. Basically the best support for direct damage teams in basically every area of content except for the ultimate well in Broken Land, in which case Blaze will be better. So Blaze will go down because she only has one niche use where she's better than Jocelyn. Besides that, Jocelyn is better in all of it. Marmelo I think can remain in B tier as just a HP burn support. Tatron's going to be S tier as an amazing bleed damage dealer and support. He also has his use in the 3v3 classic arena team for HP deduction, or sorry, 3v3 advanced arena team. Next we have Elise. Elise is very used in content such as Planar Rifts, where she is basically mandatory for the higher stages against the Jingle Bell, Donald Rebelli, and Panda Wave. So very, very strong and just really good for team survivability. Still used in control teams, I believe, in 3v3 or 5v5 content, so still very strong. I think an argument can be made to move her down to A. I think that's fair, but yeah, let's move her down to A, but she's still a very strong character. Agatha is now in B tier. Holgath I'll put in B tier as well. Ans, once again, S+ tier as the only real damage recorder amongst the regular legendary heroes. Kalana, S+ tier, amazing for survivability and just such an amazing character all around. Dakota I'm going to put in B tier. I believe he has some uses in 5v5 championship teams, but besides that, not much use. Bobo N, used in some HP deduction teams, I believe still in things like Purgatory of Seven Sins or any HP burn related content she is used, but once again, just not a very strong hero outside of that. Hania, I'm going to put in S tier, almost bordering S+ tier. I can see an argument made to put her up here. Amazing for survivability, being used in the classic arena 1v1 team, and just pairs so well alongside characters like Apsara. Tyrell, S tier, amazing in all regards. Oliver, I think A tier is fair, still the best bleed support. Fruit's going to be in C tier, Unheejan's going to be in C tier, Penny's going to be in B tier, quite a significant drop for her. She's no longer put in the CC team, the meta CC team at least, and in PvE related content she is not seeing much use anymore, and she's probably going to be replaced soon once we find another poison character which inflicts speed, which I believe is going to be released soon, or maybe already released by the time of this video. We have Kadron over here. Kadron's used, I believe, in one of the meta teams in 3v3. It's either CC or HP deduction. I think it's the CC team. And of course, amazing for poison teams as well. Willa, I think A tier is fine, at the very top of A tier. Very amazing in both PvP and PvE. Still amazing all around, especially for newer players, just not in any of the meta lineups anymore, or at least falling out of the meta slowly. Vasily S tier, amazing PvE damage dealer. Reyna, high up in A tier, definitely in the same tier as Elise, has some PvE use and also in the PvP CC team, which of course is very important. We have Penny, amazing, very good damage dealer for HP burn, good HP burn support, and used in the Pursue and Attack team for 3v3. Shaorin, I think, will belong in B tier now. She's still a decent character, however just outclassed compared to all the other characters we've seen already. Chelsea in B tier as well. Morkis, I think A tier maybe is fair, still used in some content, however definitely falling out of the meta. Maybe high B tier or low A tier, I can see an argument being made for both. Hart will belong in low B tier for sure. He's just kind of a budget option and not really used that much anymore. We have Jubei. He's used in many internal injury related content and has some use in the Attribute Steal team. And however, Attribute Steal team is kind of its own niche right now in PvP, in 5v5 in particular. So maybe a high B tier or low A tier will be fair. Let's just put him in low A tier, although I think this is quite generous. Sotra, maybe you can put in A tier. I do believe, I'm sure, compared to what I said, some of the things I said here, it may be slightly conflicting, but of course, this is now, I guess, when I'm able to reference the more updated rankings across all heroes, so you can take this as my more updated ranking, I guess. So this is Sotra, very good for survivability, still core for burn teams, and I think very solid all around. Next we have Kratos. Kratos is going to be in B tier. He's a decent character, just not meta really anywhere. McCarthy is going to be A tier. better than Chelsea for burn damage dealer, so obviously he has to be above Chelsea over here. However, that being said, burn is still a very weak tag, and yeah, McCarthy, even though he is the best burn damage dealer, he isn't really that amazing of a damage dealer. And actually, now that McCarthy is on top over here, I don't think I can justify Sotra being in A tier. Marvella is going to be in C tier. Decent HP burn support, does give some good survivability, just not on the level as these other characters which are like good in so many areas. Chardonnay, bottom of B tier. Very solid bleed support, just outclassed by Oliver. We have Bill. Bill's going to be in B tier. He only has really one use, which is 7 Sages of Luli and Planar Rifts for internal injury teams, and he does need exclusive trees, so very, very niche character. Imakado, I think bottom of A tier is fair, or maybe top of B tier. Still a very decent character, but just not as strong as he used to be, especially compared to the other characters we're seeing above him. Talis belongs in A tier. Very strong for Pursue and Attack team, and surprisingly strong for a mythic hero, which means you can obtain her for free. Nasil gonna be in D tier. Still a decent PvP support, just been replaced and not too strong anymore. And finally, for our last hero, we do have Rister, and I'm going to put him in C tier as a very solid direct damage support. However, this does require you to have some direct damage dealers, like Marie. So besides that, there's definitely going to be some other legendary heroes that I missed out. Notably, I didn't include many mythic heroes other than just Talis. The only reason I actually inserted Talis into this list is because she's a new hero which wasn't in the previous one. And yeah, let me just take a quick run through and see if I'm happy with the list. So S+ tier, I think this is fair. I think arguments can be made to move Hana down. Of course, once again, generally for the most part, every single character in this list can be moved up or down by one tier. It just kind of depends on your own personal opinion and frame of how you rank these characters. And I think the rationale behind the ranking of these characters is more important. So S+ tier, very versatile / irreplaceable characters. S tier, very strong in one regard or decent across the board. So things like Vasily, amazing PvE damage dealer. Same with Diemu Indra. And then these four characters, they're very versatile or used in meta teams in PvP. A tier, once again, still very strong characters, and either as supports or just in general. B tier, these are where we start seeing characters which fall out of the meta or individually are not very strong. So things like McCarthy. I mean, he's just simply a burn damage dealer. He doesn't do much else. So even though he's the best burn damage dealer, he doesn't deserve a higher ranking. Then C tier, these are like the budget options, and you will almost never see them in any meta team. And finally, D tier, we do have Nasil. Honestly, he could be in C tier as well, and we could fully eliminate the D tier. Or maybe we could shift some of these B tier characters to C. It kind of just depends on the ranking. But I'm pretty happy with this, and of course, I'm definitely very confident that some of you guys may have conflicting opinions. I'm always happy to hear them. Let me know what you think was ranked poorly and where they belong, and I'll be happy to talk about it with you in the comments. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.